What's up, everyone? This is the Angry Jew, and this is my first attempt at making a video posting on one of my famous rants. That being said, I wanted to let you know I am not reading off a script. I decided that would definitely not capture the true essence and emotional headings of one of my posts. So I am not reading off of any script. I refuse to do that. And if you think it's easy to say words off the cuff on camera without making mistakes, I want you to go home and you to try it and see how that goes for you. But I refuse to read from a script, even though it'll make it a lot easier, but it won't work for me. Anyway, let's cut to the chase over here. The reason I'm here is because, as you know, the political environment out there in the last few weeks has been total madness. With Trump becoming president, liberals are obviously losing their minds, which is providing me with a great deal of entertainment, as you could imagine. This is basically the best thing to ever happen in the world. Not because I like Trump, but because I really, really hate liberals, because most of the things that they say are grounded on total ignorance of actual facts and reality, and it just drives me absolutely batty. Now, while I could spend hours and hours discussing every single thing that's happened in the last couple of weeks, and maybe I'll get around to it eventually, the reason for this post is because I wanted to just quickly discuss a couple of things that have happened in the last day or two, and some hilarious liberal hypocrisies that have came from them. So, as we know, Trump put this travel ban on certain countries, right? On certain countries, they're not allowed to come into this country for another 90 days because they're from very terror-prone and terror-overrun countries, which is fairly obvious to anyone with a brain. Not to mention that these countries were actually originally picked by the Obama administration and being identified as countries that have problems. But regardless of that, the reaction to this ban has been so absolutely insane and ridiculous that I wouldn't even know where to start. And again, just on this topic alone, I could probably speak for hours about all the hilariously stupid things liberals have said about this. But I wanted to focus on one of the main hypocrisies that I've heard come from this, because it is so hilarious it cannot be confined to writing. I had to talk about it. The first one that I saw happened 2 days ago when the ban first came out. One of my liberal friends posted a status, like the rest of them, you know, how this is a only Muslim ban, this only affects Muslims, this is obviously purely focused on Muslims, it only affects Muslims, it doesn't affect anybody else, this is shameful, and it's, you know, religious discrimination against Muslims, it's a terrible thing, and anyone who can't see that is an idiot. And I said, okay, let's ignore the fact that, you know, there's 40 other Muslim countries out there that are not on the ban, and this is only 7, and those countries have more people, but again, let's not get off track here. This is only a Muslim ban. Then an hour later, he posts this famous Facebook thing that's going around from this Jewish refugee who posted a Facebook status and video about how he's trapped and how he's not able to come to the country because he's a Jew and he's from Yemen, I think, or Syria, whatever it was. He's not allowed to come to the country either. So what does my genius friend post? He posts this status from the person who's a Jew who's stuck from this ban, and goes, "You Jews should be ashamed of yourself, as you see this ban is even affecting fellow Jews. So how could you Jews support this if it's affecting Jews too? Didn't you just say an hour ago how this is only a Muslim ban, and now it's affecting Jews too? That's a real thinker, right?" Anyway, that was problem number one. Problem number two, and this has actually been coming to light more in the last couple days. If you turn on the TV right now, you'll actually see it still being discussed by a lot of people who are still fighting this Trump thing because they feel that if they scream and yell, you know, things are going to change. I'm sure Trump is going to wake up and be like, "Hey, you know what? All the liberals are upset. Fuck it. I'm done with it. You're right. I'm going to repeal it." No, it's not going to happen. But either way, like I said, watching them scream themselves silly is very entertaining for me. So let me just cut back to the point that I was making. The latest hypocrisy is even funnier and even scarier, and here's why. For the last few years, really since the whole, 9/11 thing, there's been a lot of discussion about radical Islam and terrorism and whether, it's Islamophobia, whether should we be talking about how it's only a Muslim thing, it's not really a Muslim thing, it's just extremists. All people have extremists, there's even extreme Jews, right? Because Jews also, once every 30 years they do something, so we're all, we're on the same level. Obviously, we're on the same level as the fact that every time we turn on the fucking TV, there's another bomb going up in some Muslim country because they fucking kill each other all day. We have to pretend that doesn't happen to make everyone happy, right? Let's not focus on that. all we've heard about is how terrorism isn't an inherently Islamic-related thing. You know, why are you always making it sound like just the Muslims are terrorists? Why are you saying that Muslims are prone to terrorism more than anyone else, right? Islam is overall a good religion. There are a few bad apples here and there, and, you know, it's just ISIS, and we don't have to worry about everybody because of them, right? Every group has extremists, right? So what's the problem, right? Everyone heard that over the last 5-6 years? Obviously, right? Now, when I turn on the TV, again, this isn't like some crackpot liberal friend of mine. On CNN, they literally are showing politicians, congressmen, random people, security, whatever you want to call them, all these analysts on TV, the talking heads. Right now, their main argument, are you ready for this? Their main argument for why we need to not have this travel ban is, are you ready? Because it's going to incite more terror on America. Why? Because more Muslims are going to be upset about this and join ISIS and commit more terror. If you don't believe me, turn on the TV. You'll hear it for yourself. What the hell did you just say? I thought we just talked about how overall Muslims are great. There's a few bad apples called ISIS, but overall it's a great religion, right? Why are we worried about them? Why are we accusing them now of all flying off the handle just because they don't like something that we did and turning to terrorism because we made a travel ban? All of a sudden these normal, rational people who are, you know, they're just regular Muslims and they're not affected by extremism at all of a sudden, you know what? Fuck America, we're going to go and blow up a shopping mall because we're Muslims, right? Why are you saying that? You're saying if we made a ban on, let's say, like, Swiss immigrants, we're saying there's going to be a lot of Swiss people that are joining terror groups? No, because whether you like to admit it or not, you just pointed out to the whole world that you admit that there is a problem inherently going on in the Muslim world, in Islamic culture, with terrorism, okay? You just said it, and unfortunately, we all heard it. We all heard you say it. The fact that you hate Trump so much is actually making you bring out your true inner feelings, where you know deep, deep, deep down all the things you pretend you don't see. Now that it comes to being against Trump, all of a sudden you're so into it, you let it shine out the fact that you know deep down that there's only one major group of people in the world who have such a fucking problem with terrorism, and you know exactly who it is. Now, before you say that, oh, you're saying every Muslim is a terrorist, as every liberal likes to say when they hear something because they have something in their brain that they hear one thing and then it comes out the other ear, I didn't say all Muslims are terrorists. What I said was the Islamic religion and Muslim countries as a whole, as we know, have a major problem with terrorism, and there's a reason why there is a ban on these 7 countries, because all these 7 countries are overrun by terrorism, by unstable governments, by people who generally do not like us and want to fucking kill us. And if you could admit that at the drop of a hat they are ready to all of a sudden join ISIS and kill innocent people, then you are literally admitting that you agree that there is a problem with terror in Islam, and there is a reason why we need to have this ban. It's that simple. There's no answer for this. You literally put your cards out on the table, and we are calling you on them. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my very first rants, my very first video. Hopefully there'll be a lot more on the way. If you like this video, please share. This is the Angry Jew, and I am telling it like it is. If you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. P.S. I know a lot of people wonder whether, you know, people on camera, news reporters or whatever, whether they're wearing pants when they're on TV. That I can't answer, but I can tell you that people at home when they're making videos, not always wearing pants. Just thought you should know.